Each one of us at some point in our lives has faced setbacks. Whether encountered in our youth or in the later stages of life, whether they manifest as physical challenges or financial crisis, these experiences are universally relatable. But that's also why we're all drawn to a great comeback story. Observing a character's journey of resilience and determination is not only enjoyable to watch, but also inspiring. It paints a vision of a future where we too can surmount our obstacles and emerge stronger. And in my opinion, there's no medium more powerful than anime and manga for showcasing these stories. With its diverse genres, anime allows viewers to witness characters from varied backgrounds overcoming a wide range of both physical and emotional hurdles. Regardless of the scenario's realism, the underlying message remains the same. With enough perseverance and hope, we're all capable of overcoming our setbacks and realizing our dreams. What's up, Bakas? It's your boy Natty, and after a very long hiatus, I'm finally back to making content on YouTube. I know it's been a very long time since I made a video, and I apologize to you all for just randomly disappearing. Without getting into too much detail, life just became very hectic, and I decided it would be best for myself to put YouTube down for a while. Every now and then, I contemplated coming back, but was never able to come to a real decision. But even after 2 years of not making a video, I still receive comments asking me to return. After seeing comments like these and the love that you guys have for my channel, I finally felt reinvigorated and excited to make a return. And what better way to kick off my channel's return than to make a video about the best comebacks in anime. I hope you guys enjoy the video I made for today and that you stick around until the end to hear about the future stuff I have planned for the channel. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so the first entry we have on our list is Rock Lee from Naruto. If you grew up watching anime in the early 2000s, then you all know how devastating it was to see Rock Lee get injured. But you also remember how hype it was to finally see him back in action. Rock Lee is introduced to us as a passionate and optimistic genin who's not afraid of a challenge. However, we also learn that unlike most characters in the series, Lee possessed no aptitude for ninjutsu or genjutsu, relying solely on his taijutsu skills in order to function as a ninja. For those of you who don't understand, this means that all Lee has in his arsenal are his hand-to-hand combat skills. This made his severe injury all the more devastating. During the training exams, Lee was matched against one of the strongest and definitely the deadliest of all competitors, Gaara of the Sand. Throughout the fight, Gaara's defense proves nearly impenetrable, and in an effort to surpass it, Lee opens 5 of the 8 gates, a forbidden technique that dramatically increases his power at the expense of his body. It was one of the most memorable moments of my childhood, watching a character put everything on the line for the sake of victory and proving that his taijutsu was indeed enough. But despite his valiant effort, Lee is defeated when Gaara's sand crushes his left arm and leg, causing severe damage. The injuries Lee sustains are catastrophic, with the medical ninjas initially declaring that they are beyond repair. Tsunade, one of the legendary Sannin and a genius medical ninja, later diagnosed that the bones and muscles in his arms and legs were shattered so severely that ordinary medical treatment would not be enough. She gives him a grim choice: to undergo a surgery that has a 50% survival rate or retire as a ninja. Faced with the possibility of never being able to fulfill his dreams, Lee was devastated. But this is what makes his story so great. Even after the initial news from the medics, Lee is immediately seen training during his stay at the hospital because he refuses to be counted out. His determination never wavers, and with some inspiration from his sensei, Might Guy, Lee decides to undergo the surgery despite the literal risk of his life, because if he can't achieve his dreams, is he really living anyways? Eventually, Lee makes a triumphant return to active duty, participating in an iconic battle against Kimimaro in arguably one of the best arcs in Naruto. I don't think anyone can forget the moment where Lee steps in to save Naruto, or how he pulls out his drunken fist style. Rock Lee's story from injury to recovery is the embodiment of the series' themes of hard work and the belief that anyone can surpass their limits. Moving on, our next standout comeback story belongs to Mirio Togata from My Hero Academia. For those who've watched My Hero, you know that Mirio's story is both heart-wrenching and ultimately uplifting. Known as Lemillion, Mirio stands out not just as one of UA's big 3, but also as a beacon of heroism for his peers. We learn that while his quirk, Permeation, makes it seem like he was invincible in battle, it wasn't without downsides. Originally, his quirk was more of a hindrance than anything, making his goal of becoming a hero more of a lofty dream. But after years of training and honing his skills, Mirio brought himself up to a level where he was considered the closest hero to being number 1. Which was why it was so brutal to see him lose his powers in an instant. Mirio's setback came during a pivotal moment in the series. It was during a rescue operation to save Eri from the clutches of Overhaul. In a selfless act to protect Eri, Mirio was struck by a quirk-destroying bullet. In an instant, his lifelong dream of becoming a hero, along with his quirk, seemed to vanish before his eyes. It felt as though all of the blood, sweat, and tears he had put in to get to this point was all for nothing. The impact of this moment was profound, not just for Mirio, but for the audience as well. Here was a character who embodied the very essence of heroism, suddenly stripped of the one thing that enabled him to save others. But what makes his comeback arc so compelling, and honestly, the reason why he's one of my favorite characters from the show, is how he responds to this adversity. Even though I said it felt as though his hard work was for nothing, Mirio refutes this by saying that even without his powers, he was still a Million and that he will still save people. God, the ensuing scene where he just throws hands with Overhaul despite having no powers was truly peak My Hero for me. The road to recovery for Mirio was full of challenges, yet through it all, he remained a pillar of strength and hope for those around him. Even in the absence of his quirk, Mirio never once lost his optimism and smile. Then later on, thanks to Eri's mastery of her own ability, Mirio was able to make a triumphant return in the Liberation War arc, saving Best Genius from 4 attacking Nomus. His return resonated deeply with the fans because it wasn't just a victory for Mirio, it was a victory for the idea that no setback is too great to overcome. His return to the front line, quirk intact, and spirit unbroken was a testament to the indomitable will of a true hero. Shifting gears, we delve into the world of Run with the Wind and the story of Kiyose Haiji, a narrative that beautifully captures the essence of a comeback with a twist. It's more than just a journey about physical recovery, it's about rekindling a dream that seemed all but lost. Haiji's journey is a poignant reminder that some comebacks are about the spirit as much as the body. As the brains and heart behind the Kansai University's track team, Haiji dreams of competing in the prestigious Hakone Ikeden, a dream that seems nearly impossible for a ragtag group of runners with varying degrees of experience and motivation. However, Haiji's own challenge is doubly daunting due to a knee injury that had once threatened to end his running career prematurely. This injury is not just a physical barrier, it's a specter that haunts Haiji's ambitious dreams, casting doubt on his ability to lead his team to the Ikeden, and more personally, to run alongside them. Running isn't just a sport for Haiji, it's a passion that defines him, and his injury represents a direct threat to his identity and aspirations. The devastation of this setback is deeply felt, making his determination to overcome it all the more inspiring. Haiji's road to recovery is a masterclass in patience, leadership, and perseverance. Unlike the solitary journey many athletes face, Haiji's comeback is intricately tied to his team. He meticulously plans their training, carefully manages his own rehab, and most importantly, fosters a sense of belief in his teammates that they together can achieve something extraordinary. His leadership transforms a group of individuals into a cohesive team united in the pursuit of a common dream. What makes Haiji's comeback arc exceptional is the collective struggle and victory. When Haiji finally steps onto the track for the Hakone Ikeden, it's a victory not just for him, but for every member on his team who dared to embrace his dream as their own. This moment is the culmination of countless hours of training, moments of doubt, and personal sacrifices, all underscored by Haiji's unwavering faith in their collective potential. Haiji's return to competitive running against the odds and in the face of his injury embodies the essence of what makes a great comeback story. It's not only about confronting and overcoming one's limitations, but it's also about inspiring others to do the same. In Haiji, we see that comebacks aren't just personal victories, they're catalysts that can ignite the potential in those around us, proving that sometimes the greatest comebacks are those that lift us all. Continuing our list, we turn our attention to Shinichi Izumi from Parasyte the Maxim. Now I feel like Shinichi's journey might not be seen as a traditional comeback story. It's definitely different from previous entries as it has nothing to do with the loss of powers or a physical injury. But a central part to Shinichi's story is the heartrending loss of his mother to a parasite, a pivotal event that marks a significant emotional setback and changes him as a character. Before this tragic loss, Shinichi was a typical high school student, albeit one with a living parasite in his right hand. He was a nice, caring person who considered human life to be precious. However, the brutal murder of his mother and his subsequent killing of the parasite that assumed her form plunges Shinichi into a profound emotional abyss. It's mentioned that Shinichi's new distant self has to do with the fact that Migi merged with him, but many fans and I believe that it was also a defense mechanism against the overwhelming pain that he was going through. His initial response to shut down his emotions is a move that starkly contrasts his empathetic nature. This emotional detachment aided him in his fight against the other parasites, but at a significant personal cost. We see this when he nonchalantly throws a deceased puppy into the trash and when he's unable to shed a tear at Kana's death. Even his own father couldn't recognize Shinichi, questioning whether he was made of steel. Shinichi's struggle to maintain his humanity becomes a central theme of his journey. Yet it's through this very struggle that Shinichi's comeback begins to take shape. His path to regaining his emotions is full of challenges, each encounter with friends, enemies, and allies forcing him to confront what he has lost and what he still stands to gain. Shinichi's path to reclaiming his humanity finds a catalytic moment in the death of Reiko Tamura. In her death, Reiko displays a distinctly human trait, the desire to protect her child at all cost. This act of self-sacrifice, so deeply rooted in the human condition, resonates with Shinichi, stirring the dormant emotions he had suppressed. Witnessing Reiko's final desperate attempt to save her child, Shinichi is confronted with the undeniable reality that empathy, love, and sacrifice are not exclusive to humanity. This realization forces him to confront his own grief, guilt, and the emotions he had locked away. Shinichi's comeback is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It's about more than just overcoming grief, it's about learning to live with it without letting it define you. As he reclaims his emotions, Shinichi also rediscovers his strength not just as a fighter, but as a person capable of empathy, love, and connection. So those 4 characters had some of my favorite comeback arcs in all of anime. But I wanted to give you guys one more bonus character, albeit he's not from an anime. And that is Shi-Woon from the manhwa The Breaker. Shi-Woon's tale begins as that of an underdog. He starts off as a weak and bullied high school student with no particular talents or strengths. His life takes a dramatic turn when he becomes the disciple of the Nine-Arched Dragon, a martial arts master. Under his teacher's guidance, Shinwoo starts to change, gaining conviction and skills. Not only does he develop the power to stand up to his bullies, but he also gains the confidence to grow closer to those he cares about. He transformed himself from a timid, feeble victim to a martial artist strong enough to take on even the deadliest fighters in the Muram world. However, the true setback occurs at the end of The Breaker when Shi-Woon's ki center is destroyed, rendering him incapable of harnessing his martial arts energy. This devastating blow strips Shi-Woon not only of his newfound abilities, but also his identity and the progress he had made. The loss is profound, echoing the themes of despair and helplessness that comes with losing a core part of oneself. And what makes it hurt the most is the fact that it was his own master that destroyed his ki center. The same man who built him up was also the man who broke him down. Now what makes Shi-Woon's comeback so compelling is his refusal to accept this fate as the end of his journey. Faced with the complete loss of his martial arts abilities, Shi-Woon's unwavering determination shines brightest. He spends a lot of the second series embarking on a grueling path to recovery, seeking any means necessary to restore his ki center. He'll do whatever it takes to regain his powers, whether it's slow, methodical meditation, grueling physical training, or even drugs from shady, untrustworthy figures. His journey is full of challenges, but Shi-Woon's resilience never falters. It's such a rewarding experience when we finally see Shi-Woon uses his martial arts again. It felt earned as we the readers had just gone through this long road of recovery with him. But even without his martial arts, we did not see Shi-Woon revert back to the timid boy that he was in part 1. We still see him grow as a courageous leader with a strong desire to protect those he cares about. So when he finally regains the power to actually do that, it feels so amazing. The climax of Shi-Woon's comeback is not just the restoration of his ki center, but his transformation into a true martial artist. His return to the moon world, stronger and more determined, is a testament to the idea that setbacks can serve as a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. So if you've stuck around the video for this long, I just wanted to say thank you. It's fans like you guys that reignited my passion for YouTube and making content. So what are my plans moving forward? I feel like it'd be unfair of me to not even mention Kengan Ashura since it's been such a large portion of my channel. If I can be completely honest, Kengan hasn't been a series that I've been passionate about in a while. Don't get me wrong, it'll always hold a special place in my heart, and it's not like I'll never make a video for it again. But I definitely have other things that I like to pursue first. I do want to have an ongoing series for my channel though, similar to what I did for Kengan. And there is a webtoon that I'm reading that gets me just as hype as Kengan did. So if you liked the format of those videos, you might like this new series as well. Besides that, I want to keep making videos recommending you guys low-key anime and manga. I feel like I get the most enjoyment when I recommend unknown gems such as the manga Out or the manhwa Veritas. Finally, as for how frequently I want to post, I definitely want to make it a point to have at least a video out a month, ideally 2. Like I said, I'm very motivated right now to produce content, but I also want to make sure that the product I'm putting out is up to my standards. Let me know down in the comments what else you guys want to see on the channel. It could be anything from a character analysis, tier list, or a series you want me to review. Thank you again guys, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace!